Sirens, Slammers, and Service, a podcast for female first responders by female first responders. My name is Nikki Clucci, and I will be your host. As a former correctional officer in Alberta for almost 2 decades and the founder of Blue Line Fitness Testing, which provides law enforcement fitness testing and first responder wellness workshops, I started this podcast as a way for female first responders to share the trials, tribulations, and triumphs of their daily work. I want to showcase the unique perspectives, skill sets, and personalities that women bring to a first responder career and share their stories. So get ready to laugh your ass off, learn a whole bunch, and be inspired by some pretty badass women. Let's go.
Oh, you guys, I am back today, and holy shit, I got a guest for you. Today, I am joined by Sarah Ruhland. Sarah's coming to us all the way from the sunny state of Wisconsin. I say that very sarcastically. Sarah is currently an EMT firefighter and was previously law enforcement. She's also a military kid, so she's lived basically everywhere. She's also one of my co-hosts on the Thin Line Rock Station, guys. Her show is the Tattooed EMT, and it runs on Wednesdays from 6 a.m. until 10 a.m. Mountain Standard Time or 8 a.m. to noon Eastern Standard Time. And she's also a podcast host. Her podcast is called EMS After Dark, all about first responder education for the public, the history of what we go through. It's super raw, authentic, and unfiltered. I mean, I don't know, guys. Does that sound like something that you're already maybe listening to? I don't know, maybe. But welcome, Sarah. How are you today?
I'm good, Nikki. How are you?
I am so good. I'm so excited to have you on the pod. We kind of fly by each other on the thin line. Like we don't ever really get to kind of like actually interact with each other. We have a WhatsApp chat that just blows up sometimes. And I'm like, I need to mute. I was like, I need to mute these damn notifications.
Yep. Yeah. Mute. It's just
I'm like,
too much.
Right? I'm like, I don't got time for this shit. Is there anything important in here? No. Okay. See you later.
Okay, keep going.
And the funny part is, you guys, it's not the women that are blowing up the chat in there. It's all the male hosts. It's all the
men. All the men. And I get such a kick out of it. I'm like, y'all, okay. All right, fine, whatever.
Right. I just laugh as I scroll through. I'm like, okay, guys, okay, keep going. So, but yeah, so as soon as I kind of heard your show, I was like, okay, I love tattoos. I have lots of tattoos. This girl looks like my vibe. She's talking about the things I love. So she's got to come on the pod. So tell me, let's jump right in. Military kid, moved all over the United States, former law enforcement, now EMT fire. And how did it happen? How did you come to it?
That's a story and a half. Like, it's one of those things where, I was a military kid, of course. I grew up in the military for 19 years of my life. I grew up in Italy. So I lived in Italy for 10 years. So yeah, in the 90s. This was pre 9/11, by the way. So I have to disclose that information because apparently post 9/11 is different from pre 9/11, which is true. So it was a very interesting time because I lived in 2 different military bases. So Sardinia, which is an island off the coast of Italy, underneath Corsica. And then I also lived in Naples. So I lived on an island. And then for me to get to school every single day, I had to take a bus, a ferry, and another bus for one way. So it was like an hour and 45 minutes to get to school every single day as a 6-year-old, 7-year-old kind of thing.
Yay.
But that's just the normal life that I had when we lived on the island for 7 years. And it was great. I love the island life. It was awesome. Just really good Italian food. And I learned the language. Yes, I speak Italian still fluently and whatnot. Yes. Yeah. So
incredible.
My dad got orders to Naples. And this was in 98. So this was also when the war in Kosovo and Yugoslavia broke out. So we lived in Naples on the mainland during that wartime. So because the war in Kosovo was going on, all the military bases in Europe were kind of on heightened alert. So back then, kids were having tornado drills or fire drills. We had bomb threat drills. We had volcano evacuation drills because guess what? Mount Vesuvius is right there and she still is active. Even though she's dormant right now, she's still active. So we would have to do of course, our fire drills, of course, but we also had to do that. And then of course the bomb threat drills. And it was interesting because when we moved to Naples, I was 13 years old. So I'm 13, 14, and 15 years old when I lived in Naples. And it was interesting because the base that I went to school on was an hour away from where I lived which was also an hour and 10 minutes away from where my dad worked on another military base. And then it was an hour and 20 minutes away from where my mom taught on the NATO base. So if anything happened while I was at school, I would have to get onto a helo and go to Ramstein for the rendezvous point without my parents and meet my parents whenever. So like when I tell this story, people are like, that's not normal. And it's not. It's not normal for anybody, but it's normal for European military kids. This was again pre 9/11, so keep that in perspective.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of crazy how to come up like say these types of stories. And then Osama bin Laden threatened to bomb all the military bases about a year and a half before 9/11. And so there were times where before we could even get onto the base to go to school, we'd have to sit outside of base and wait until the threat was over, or the CEO of the base said, okay, we can come on. And by that point in time, the school day was halfway over. And this was just life for me growing up in a foreign country during wartime. We moved back to the US 2 months and 11 days before 9/11. And after 9/11, like just everything just changed drastically for the whole world. I mean, not just for the US, but just the whole world. And it was funny because like when I graduated high school, I did not go into military, which was kind of funny because on both sides, my mom and my dad's side, we have military members date back to World War I. I mean, I had 9 family members on both sides that served in World War II that are buried in Arlington National Cemetery. And here I am, I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing military, guys. Peace out.
You're like, no thanks. Sorry, guys.
And I was really fascinated because this was 2004. And the TV shows that really enamored my attention was CSI and Bones.
Yeah.
So I got into forensics like hardcore. And I was a high school senior that wanted a full plastic skeleton for Christmas. Like, who really? Yeah, I'm one of those nerds. Nerds.
I love this so much. I absolutely love this. Yes. Okay.
I wanted to do DNA analysis because I really like the whole thing of mass spectrometer and mitochondrial DNA, all this wonderful stuff. However, when I got to college and realized that for me to work on the crime lab, I had to have a major and I had to have a double major in biology and chemistry. And I'm like, yeah, I can't have my attention span that long for a major in both. So I'm like, well, what's the next thing?
That's a lot. That's a lot, guys.
Yes.
Why?
So I settled for the minor in biology and then the forensics and minor, but I also double majored in sociology, emphasis criminal justice, and anthropology. And so I went the criminal justice route. So I really thoroughly enjoyed like the psychosocial aspects of criminal justice, like police and courts, those kinds of things. I was really enamored over law. I went through the police academy in 2000. Okay, because I had to think about this. 2008. I had to think about that. 2008, between my junior and senior year in college. So because I was a double major and a double minor, it took me 6 years to get through my undergrads. Because I was apparently a dum-dum and had to do both.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Blue Line Fitness Testing is a premier law enforcement fitness testing and training center based in Edmonton. Specializing in helping individuals prepare for the physical demands of a career in law enforcement, we offer comprehensive fitness evaluations, specialized training programs, and classes tailored to meet the unique needs of our clients. Our facility hosts a range of classes and are committed to fostering a supportive and empowering environment where clients can achieve their fitness goals. Our team includes experienced trainers who bring specialized expertise in law enforcement, self-defense, personal training, and rehabilitation. We engage through our community through challenges, events, and our podcast, and we are dedicated to helping individuals succeed in their fitness journeys and career aspirations in law enforcement. Are you looking to get started with your career? Come see Blue Line Fitness Testing, and we'll get you there.
No, stop that. Stop that. You're insane in doing both of those.
Yes.
Sorry, let me just jump in real quick. So you're going to college, university, and then the police academy is like a separate, like you can do that at the same, like I'm just trying to like logistically be like, how can you do both all full-time school and full-time at police academy? Like, how did that work?
Well, the police academy was during the summertime.
Oh, okay.
And it was only 9 weeks. It was only 9 weeks long.
Okay.
So it was perfect within that summer period for me.
Okay.
Now in the state of Wisconsin, it's 18 or 19 weeks. So, and they did that because they added a forensics component to it because we were having issues with the crime lab and processing evidence back then. And so they added more forensics and chain of custody and stuff like that. So it got added to the police academy to double in its length, which is great. Like I'm all for it.
Yeah.
And so like when I got graduated from the police academy, I still had a year left of my undergrads, but then I started working for a police department. And it's kind of like the armpit of Wisconsin. It's really bad. Like it's a really, it really is bad. It's like, woo.
I love this. Love
Anyone would
this.
probably tell you. But I loved it because like I liked the forensics. I was a CSU tech. I really loved working with the forensics unit. I really loved working in the police department. I did an internship a couple years prior working in the medical examiner's office up in the Madison area. And I just thoroughly just loved all things law, forensics, criminal justice, everything. Which then when I graduated from my undergrads, I then went to law school. So, but I learned pretty darn quickly 2 weeks before I graduated law school that I did not want to practice law.
So
So
you did the whole thing?
So $130,000 later, I realized I don't want to be a lawyer. Or rephrase this. I didn't want to be an attorney. So I never took the bar exam. So I don't practice law because I can't. I never took the bar exam. I don't have $500 to take the exam. Like it's expensive.
You just spent $130,000. You got no money. You got zero money.
Yeah. It was like, okay, well, that's kind of pointless now. But it really wasn't. Like I still continued on in law enforcement. I still worked in the police department. And then I got into child sex crimes. And one of my college professors from undergrads, he was the chief of police in the state, and he really did his whole entire career on child sex crimes. So he wanted me to go into that, and I was good. However, it F's with your mind pretty quickly, quickly. I learned a lot about patience on all things, like working with kids, interrogating, like not interrogation, but talking to kids, but interrogating perps and whatnot. So it was really different. And I learned a lot in that. However, it sucked my soul.
Yeah.
It did. Yeah. And I lasted about 2 or 3 years in that. And at that point of time, I went to a different department. And when I was doing like my training and whatnot on that department, because I was kind of like in that probie moment kind of thing, the field training officer and I did not see eye to eye, more like he sexually assaulted me. And I was not the first. One of many. Yeah. And so when I went to go report it to my supervisor, the question was, are you sure? I learned quickly that I was like, oh yeah, this is not a department for me. And this was a big city department too. So like, I'm like, okay. And the reason why is like, well, he's very highly decorated, he's done a lot of good. And then of course someone was like, but he's married. Do you think he would do that? I'm like,
clearly, because I'm here telling you that. Well, and I'm here telling you that he did it. So clearly, yes, he did it. Like garbage. I hate that so much.
And I wasn't the only one. I learned of at least 6 others that have been, and the 6 others, 4 stayed on the department and 2 left. I left. I was like, I'm done. And so at this point of time, a buddy of mine who I grew up with and living in Italy, he was a military kid. He worked for the federal government. And he's like, hey, you speak multiple languages. You're really good at emergency management, because by this point in time, I already had I already gotten my first master's degree in higher education, and then I got my second master's degree in emergency management. And so he's like, hey, you want to work in emergency management? I was like, sure. I mean, I've been deployed as a volunteer on natural disaster sites. I did it because I'm actually originally from New Orleans. So my sophomore year in college, I went down for Hurricane Katrina to make sure my family was okay, but also to do a lot of volunteer work. And I just fell in love with just emergency management, just the whole ideal of it. I was like, all right, whatever. So I worked with FEMA for a bit. And then in 2017, my world just crashed. My dad committed suicide.
I'm so sorry.
And so like, that's where I was just had to reevaluate everything, my whole life and whatnot. And it was really shitty on how it happened because like when my dad retired from the military, he retired in 2005. So he was a career. He was did 26 years. He was 17 when he went in, never had a high school diploma, but one of the best diesel engineers that the Navy had. Great. However, when he retired, unfortunately, at that time, we were at the height of the Iraq War, #2, and he was going up against kids who were graduating from college with engineering degrees. And here's my dad with no education, no high school diploma, no higher education. I mean, lots of education from the Navy, and 6 years of working on diesel engines. I mean, my dad's been on frigates and LSTs and tenders and whatnot, and Arleigh took Dutch class destroyers. Like, my dad was good. However, it wasn't enough. And so that's when my dad's mental health went spiraling down fast and fast. So he drank more and smoked more. And in 2017, he, at 57 years old, he decided to just leave this earth on his own terms, which then put a lot of damper on a lot of things. So I left law enforcement, criminal justice, everything completely. And then I went to go work for Amazon for 6 months. I wanted a mindless job. I said, I just mindless, not think, whatever and whatnot.
No talk to people. I'm in a truck all day by myself. I just go and do my shit. Yep, absolutely. 100% get that. Yep.
And then I was realizing, I'm like, I really miss public service. What can I do to still, help my community? I didn't want to be in law enforcement anymore because that was also around the time where, everyone was saying, fuck the cops. And I'm like, yeah, I'm already a walking HR violation. I don't need to be even more anyone in. So I just was like, no, I love criminal justice and I do miss it. I miss a lot of things about the CJ field. I still do teach some classes. I teach college online too, but I could not put that uniform on again. I don't know. It's just so much. So I give lots of people props that want to go into being in law enforcement today because nope. So that's when I made the switch to fire and EMS. And I had the medical background because I worked in forensics. I mean, they were, it was dead bodies, but, you can try to save their lives,
Anatomy is anatomy. Yeah.
I was like, you got the pathophysiology of this. I can do this.
Yeah.
And like, I fell in love with EMS. Like, I love EMS. Oh, it's great because there's never one call that's the same. All the calls are completely different. Even the same lift assist call that we always get. They still are always different. And I love it. And then I never thought I'd like fire because in my state, we're a fire-based EMS place. So it's highly advised to be both. So I was like, all right, well, I went into fire and I'm like, okay, I actually kind of like this. So when I got my advanced EMT, I kind of didn't ride the engine or the truck very much. I mean, I still do from time to time, but because I'm kind of in that weird, EMT and then advanced EMT and then paramedic, we kind of advanced EMT in some places in the state, that's kind of what we consider ALS. So, and some parts of the country, like I'm also licensed in Illinois and Louisiana. And in Louisiana, I can do a lot like a paramedic can do, just minus the narcs. So it's kind of like, okay, whatever. It is what it is. So like, yes, did I go for my paramedic? Yeah. Unfortunately, it was during COVID. A lot of us failed out at the same time because of the COVID issue and whatnot. Back and finish. Yes. I only had 3 months left on my paramedic. But I like fire and EMS. And then during COVID, I think COVID was just the year that everyone just sucked for everybody. 2020 was like the year for me that every single week I had something traumatic happen to me. Between a really shitty relationship with a man who was an extreme narcissist, between failing out of paramedic school, myself and like 8 other people at the same time, and the instructor like blaming us that it was our fault. Whoa, 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 whoa. And by this point of time, I already had 3 master's degrees, a law degree, and I was working on a PhD. So I'm like, well, full time out. I don't think it's us. The anomaly is you, because if there's 9 of us, especially when some of them have been in EMS for 10 plus years, I'm like, in education, we wowould call that a problem, an outlier, and that's more of the instructor versus the student, but I digress. So I was very mad that because I had, like I said, I had 3 months left, and then I was going to have my second paramedic. I don't know what's like in Canada, but it's a 9-month intense program here. I mean, cardiology 1 is 5 days long. Like, you learn everything of cardiology in 5 days. And it's like, I mean, a full entire semester of human A&P in an 8-hour day. And so, like, it's intense. And so that it put a big damper on me too. And then it was also the year that I had my very first infant code. Now, I've been on crime scenes. I had my first 13-year-old suicide. I worked in child sex crimes where 5-year-old girls were sexually abused by their parents or someone close. I trust me, I have seen a lot of gruesome shit. Yeah. Because I was in this field of EMS where my job is to save lives, we get on scene and mom is screaming to bloody murder and the police officer is doing chest compressions on this 11-month-old. And if you've never seen a code before, like when we're getting on there, the first 3 to 4 minutes of a code is intense because we're pulling shit out, we're getting lines. Of course, this is a baby, so I'm not doing IVs. I'm putting an IO, so I'm drilling into this baby so we can get cardiac meds, we can get fluid meds. We have a parent trying to intubate. We're doing chest compressions, everything, and we're working and we went past our protocol time. And by this point in time, another paramedic was on the phone with med control, telling med control what, where we were at in our cycles, what drugs we gave, how many fluids we've done, breathing, all this stuff. And of course, by this point in time, we're about 40, maybe 43 minutes in. Our protocol says 28. So we went past our time, and the med control doctor said, call it. We're all sitting there trying not to lose our shit because, like, this is a 11-month-old baby that we did not bring back to life. And I think what hit me harder than the other things I've seen in the past. And I've seen mom lose it, dad's losing it, and like dad wanted to fight all of us, so we had to have more cops there. It was just a horrific, horrible scene. And I think just with everything going on with COVID, because we were all so separated, we were all so scattered and whatnot, and the abuse with the relationship with the narcissist, paramedic school and this and that, and I was really not a nice person in 2020. I hated life. Like I'll admit I was a bitch. Like in 2020, I can't lie. I hated life. I think that just was the final straw for me. And 3 weeks later, I attempted suicide. And so I texted everyone. I texted all my friends, including my best friend who's in the Coast Guard, who was stationed down in Mississippi. And I said, all right, peace out. Can't do this anymore. And every cop, off-duty cop and current duty cop and off-duty firefighter was looking for me in a 5-county radius. Because a lot of people know me. I've been in this state for a while. I've either taught them or I worked with them, or I worked on the department, or I worked alongside them from a different department for mutual aid. So a lot of people knew me, or they knew my mom because my mom was an educator. So it was just, it stuck a lot of the community. And I had the car at a lake at a boat launch. Because I'm a military kid, I'm a Navy kid, I love my water, I'm also a rescue diver, so it's like, I thought it was fitting. Okay. just go and just ram the car into the water. I had some of the water up by the tire and whatnot, and a buddy of mine who is a cop and works out at the gym that I work out, he comes up and he's just like, let's go, let's get out. He's like, let me move the car, and he's like, let's talk about this. And so, yeah. I think that was the pivotal moment for me and just changed my life completely. And that's when I realized that there's only so much that I can control in my life. Like, I can't control, I mean, the only thing I can control is how I react to things. That's pretty much about it. I don't even control what I do on a daily because things change. You know, we have to adapt and overcome things. And so the only thing I can control is how I react to things. And the more and more I started to realize certain things and how important, you know, first responders are and EMS education, because by this point of time, I have now finished my PhD. So I actually have a PhD now. And I'm working in the EMS education because I had such crappy EMS instructors and we were in a staffing crisis. I don't know if it's like in Canada, but here in the US, it's bad.
Yep.
It's bad. And so like, I'm like, what can I do to help with this? And, you know, my mom was an educator. I have two master's degrees in education. I'm like, you know what? Let's do this. And I went into EMS education to see the inefficiencies and realize that just because you've been in this field for 30 plus years does not make you an effective teacher.
Oh God, preach, fucking preach. Jesus Christ.
And I've made a lot of enemies by it. But I've always told people, I've always told instructors, and this is not just EMS too, because I've also taught certain portions of the law enforcement academy, like the forensics portion. I was like, you guys don't understand that, yes, you have experience, but you have to understand that every single person learns differently. Whether they are an audio learner, a kinetic learner, a visual learner, a combination of all three, two, whatever it is. And they are in different boxes. And you can't take your whole entire class or the whole entire academy class and put them into one box and say, well, this is how I learn. You should learn this way. That's not how that works. I'm sorry, but that's not. And you learn that when you go through education classes. And then, of course, you know, 504 plans, which is kind of like the adult version of an IEP for special ed. And, you know, some instructors don't even know what that means. And it's like, okay, it is a federal document based off the Americans with Disabilities Act that you have to adhere to because this person requires time and a half on a test. So like, you have to give them that. And they're like, well, I don't have to, because if they need time and a half, then how are they going to be as a provider? It's for a test. It doesn't mean they're not going to be a good provider.
Yeah.
It's just because the testing sucks. I'll tell you that right now. I hate taking standardized tests and I suck at it. I've learned the crack the codes because all the tests is just the basics. I mean, it's just BLS stuff, but at the same time, people don't understand that. And so, you know, that was the one thing that I'm kind of like, all right, let's figure some stuff out here. And so over probably about the last 2 years-ish, I have been compiling information. I started to send out Google forms to different departments across the country, to chiefs and chief of police and fire chiefs, and asking, you know, hey, what do you guys do for your continuing education? What do you guys do for your training? You know, and I didn't get back of, I had one chief's training. You're funny. And I'm like, oh, well, that's a problem.
Yeah. You're like, I really hope you're joking right now, but you're not. Shit.
yeah. I was like, oh shit, you're really not joking. Okay. And you know, here in the US, I don't know what it's up in Canada, but here in the US, like 70% of the firefighters down here are all volunteer.
Oh, wow.
And yeah. So like, we only have 30% that are actually career paid firefighters. 70% are volunteer because a lot of your rural areas don't have the operating funds to have a full-time department. They may have paid one full-time person, and usually that's the chief. And then you have volunteers.
Yeah.
But, you know, like training, according to NFPA standards and whatnot, you know, just do your training every once a month. What type of education you do? Like, okay, so we need EMTs, but we're not going to pay for the class because it's really expensive. We don't have the funding for the class. So it comes out the person's pocket, or, you know, or the state might step in for a grant or whatever, whatnot. And so I'm like, okay, what can I do to help with this? And a year ago, on the anniversary of my dad's death, I made a promise to my dad that I will not do to first responders. I will leave no first responder behind, like the military did to my dad. And so that's when I took content creating a little bit more seriously, and it just took off. I have a big mouth and a lot of opinions and a lot of research behind a lot of the opinions that I stated, because not only do the public don't know what we do, but also too, like the PTSD and the stuff that we see, but also too, we are horrible to each other. Like, eat the young mentality. Oh my God, ridiculous. And after doing tons and tons of research and asking people on TikTok from across the country, and they're like, oh yeah, I loved being in fire, or I love being in police, but unfortunately I had to leave for my mental health because I was getting bullied constantly. And I'm like, whoa, full timeout. Like, our job is hard enough. We see the worst in humanity, and you're gonna bully another. Okay, this is crazy. Y'all are cray at this point of time. And a lot of it comes down to, well, especially in the EMS. EMS is ridiculous. I mean, I know fire and police is bad too, but EMS is, damn, they can't get their shit together. It's bad. It's just bad down here. And a lot of it comes down to of EMTs versus paramedics. And the paramedics are like, well, I'm a paramedic. Oh, you're supposed to drive me around. Well, do you forget, to be a paramedic, you have to be an EMT first. It's BLS before ALS. And I have to teach that to a lot of paramedics that all the time. Just because you have all these fancy tools in your toolbox doesn't mean you should use all your fancy tools in your toolbox. There's a reason why I am vehemently opposed to RSI, which is rapid sequence intubation. And because even though you can do it, you can paralyze someone to give them an airway, doesn't mean that should be your first line. You have certain things to do before you go there. And that's where that's the lack of education, and as well as the zero to hero. A lot of people that go into EMT school, as soon as they're done with their EMT license, they go straight into paramedic. And I'm kind of like, but you haven't run the streets. You don't even know what it's like to work in a BLS, because 95% of our calls are all BLS. And I tell my students, is it BLS a call until you can't BLS anymore, then have ALS come in. And I said, trust me, I've worked a code with just straight EMTs, because you don't have to ET tube somebody. You can put a freaking supraglottic and bag them. It's like, guys, you can still run some really tense calls with just BLS people. And that's where a lot of that mentality has gotten to. And it's one of those, listen, paramedics, please don't forget where you came from.
Yeah.
And, and it's also too with even the fire service. Like, this one thing that I've learned, like the white hats, once they get to that white hat, they forget where they came from. Like, oh, I'm a white hat, hear me roar. I don't care less about the black hats. Whoa, you were once a black hat. Like,
hey, what's a white hat?
White hats for us are chiefs.
Okay. And black hats are like the frontline staff?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Wait, it was shirts for us. White shirt versus blue shirt. So yeah. I figured it was something similar. Similar to that. Yeah. That the one thing, like, again, I totally agree. Don't forget where you came from. And that was like the number one piece of advice as I moved up through the ranks in corrections. That was the number one piece of advice. Don't ever forget where the fuck you came from. You used to do this. And I took that to heart, because you do know where you came from. You just have different pressures as you move up. And then those pressures are more like, okay, I need you to think big picture beyond the unit that you used to work on. But it's like, yeah, but this big picture shit filters down. Like, the only place it's going is down to the units. And so if it's not going to work on the fucking unit, I don't give a shit what the big picture is. And again, then you're dealing with political pressures and stuff like that. But if I know that this isn't going to fucking work on the front line, on the unit where we are filtering this decision down to, then why the fuck are we doing it? Right? Why are we fucking doing it? So yeah, I'm definitely with you on that one.
And that's my whole thing too. It's like, there's a reason why I probably will never be a white hat, and I'm okay with that, because I really don't play nice in sandbox. However, though, I have learned to be a little bit diplomatic on things, and it is what it is. But about 7 months ago, August of last year, I started doing some TikTok lives. I started just doing a once a Sunday called Sunday Shenanigans. And it was just, I had an hour and a half of time. I went on TikTok Live and said, okay, all first responders, this is a safe place for you to let your hair down. We can talk about anything and everything. You want to talk about mental health stuff. You just want to goof off and joke around and have our dark humor. Fine. And it was just a safe place. And it kind of took off from there, which then it went on to education. So then I decided, okay, well, I kind of want to do some EMS scenarios and help, those who are in EMT school or just got their EMT license, or even those of us who've been in this, that we kind of forget our BLS stuff, let's get back to our roots kind of thing. And so I started doing like EMS scenarios. And then on another night, I started doing fire scenarios for firefighters. And then I started acquiring my follower count went from 3,000 to 10,000 followers.
Wow.
In a 6-month time period. And I'm like, oh, so you like what I say? Because I don't sometimes, let me tell you. And I acquired this amazing group of people, this amazing team that shares my vision and the passion that I have, and have decided to go on this crazy journey with me. And at the beginning of this year, I launched my business. So I have this business, it's called the First Responder Training Group, and we provide training for all departments, specifically smaller departments, but we are looking at bigger departments too. But rural departments, and it's not just fire and EMS, but it's dispatch, it's police departments too as well. Training, education, and then we also have mental health resources. Because I don't think we as first responders know the full scopes of what type of resources are out there for us.
No.
Because when we need a therapist, we need a trauma-informed therapist, not your regular average garden person. Because let me tell you, I have made a therapist actually stop in the middle of our session and say, we're done. And then she needed therapy.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Like, okay, how does that make my self-esteem here over here?
Uh-huh.
And that's what I do. So every Saturday night now, we have what's called Mental Health Saturdays. And so I bring a therapist that specializes either in EMDR or ketamine therapy or DBTs, informed trauma therapy, or CBT or whatever. They come on and they talk to first responders saying, hey, this is where I am in my location, but I can find people for you. And so the website that we have created, I have this awesome guy, he's on my board, and he did our website, and it's just freaking phenomenal. And there's a section of our mental health for everything, like what type of resources are out there, like a script of it's okay not to be okay and whatnot. And and then we're also in the process of trying to get therapists to basically apply to those websites so that we can put them as a directory for all first responders.
Love it.
So that if they need to find someone in their area, they can look on our website and say, okay, boom, here. We have a training calendar on our website where any conferences, training, webinars, retreats for first responders, anything. It doesn't matter if we're putting it on or not. Anything, we have it there. So people can look in their area when the next conference or training event or webinar or retreat, if they want to go for some retreats or whatnot. And then we have a crap ton of education. And we have education from scenarios, quizzes. So we have detectives exam quizzes that are current. We have the post, which is that I don't know if you guys have a pre-test you guys have to take to become a police officer. We call it the post.
Yeah, the ABCAT. Yeah.
Yeah. So we have that on our website too. And we have flashcards and whole bunch, just everything. It's ridiculous on how much is there. And it's kind of cool because we're all about education. We're all about training and getting that education out there for people, because it's nice to see what other states do and even other countries, because I have people from other countries that say, hey, this is what we do in England, or this is what we do in Ireland. I'm like, all right, cool. This is awesome. So we can learn too, because we're all in the same boat. It doesn't matter what country, we all speak the same language. It's just we're different countries.
It's funny you say that, because literally last week or the week before, I did an interview with a former police officer from Australia, and from It's the same shit. It's the same shit. One of my girlfriends that I grew up with and played rugby with is a police officer in Wales. It's the same shit. Like across the world, if you feel like, and this was the thing that kind of came out of that podcast with Rami was, like if you feel like you're alone and if you feel like it's only your department or it's only your agency or it's only your city that is garbage. No, guess what, guys? Guess what? These issues are across the world. If you work in first, everybody is dealing with it, which is like, okay, so if everybody is fucking dealing with it, how are we not fixing the problems, guys? Like if every single fucking agency is dealing with this, how are we not fixing the problems? Like what? Right.
And this has been the question that I have been proposing, like, and so I've had lots of conversations with a lot of first responders nationwide. And so now that we have a running list of things, because a couple of months ago, I said, okay, we've been talking about this. So let's start putting our talks into action. Let's create this list of things that we need, that we know we need change. The needs versus the wants.
Yeah.
And the big thing right now, and this time next year, my goal is to go up against Congress, federal Congress, U.S. Congress, and basically, lack of better words, of course, but I'm going to say basically demand that EMS is essential in all 50 states. Because EMS here in the U.S. is not essential service. It's only essential for I think there's 10 states that recognize EMS as an essential service. No. And my state is not one of them, which is crazy.
Yeah.
And so we have to start there, because before we start talking about education opportunities and funding and mental health resources, we need to make sure that EMS is on that same level as police and fire. Because here in the state that I live in, a couple of years ago, we were putting together a PTSD where first responders can claim workman's comp based off of PTSD, which is great. Yeah. However, 5 years ago, it was only for fire and police. We had to go back to the drawing board and say, guess what? We're a fire-based EMS state. Yes, we do have some private services, which they experience it too. Even though they didn't want to do fire, we have to include EMS. And now a month and a half ago, it has been now signed into legislation that everyone, dispatch, EMS, fire, and police can claim workman's comp due to PTSD, which is great. That's a start. But we have to have it federally, where we have to recognize EMS as an essential service. And I am just crazy enough, and I have a loud mouth, a big mouth, that I don't care what they do, who they are in Congress. Just because you serve on Congress, good for you. You put your pants on like I do, one leg at a time. I don't care how much brass you have on your shoulders. I don't care what kind of fancy degrees you have or what you don't degree or what pedigree you come from. You put your pants on like I do, one leg at a time. We as the American public voted for you, which we can also vote you out. And I am coming to you as a whole of all first responders here in the U.S. that EMS has to be an essential service. And once we have that, then we can start talking about education opportunities for our smaller departments. Because a lot of small departments are getting eat up, or they're combining to other departments. However, there's no more extra funding. So we don't have extra funding to do better education or training or whatnot. Okay, but yet your call volume has gone up by anywhere from 100 to 600%, depending on where you're at. The calls are going up, and yet the funding is either staying the same or getting cut. And I'm like, okay, I know that 1 + 1 = 2, but in this math equation, it's not equaling 2, and I don't know how to fix this. And that's where I'm like, okay, we have to make sure that everything is all on the same page, and EMS has to be an essential service before we can start looking at the next steps for first responders and whatnot. So that has been my big platform, and why I use the TikTok that I have and what I've been doing has just been trying to get the word and the message out there for education for all first responders, creating a safe space in that realm. If you're come across my page or whatever, come across my lives, it's all for first responders. Yeah, do we have some civilians that come in there? Absolutely, we encourage that because we want them to learn and see, hey, what actually does happen on a fire scene? What happens on a crime scene, or what happens in the EMS? We want them to learn. And we encourage that all first responders come to every single night, because we also now have law enforcement and dispatch night on Monday nights. And we encourage fire and EMS to go those nights because guess what? We all work in conjunction together.
Yeah.
Because our dispatchers are actually the true first responders.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, but they are. And fire, police, and EMS are the second first responders because our dispatchers deploy us to the scene.
Yeah. I love this. I think this is amazing because not only like for me coming into this world, like 6 years ago when I started Blue Line. So did corrections 17 years, didn't think there was anything out there, no resources, or what do you got? You got CISM maybe, and you might have peer support maybe. And that was in its infancy when I was as I was kind of leaving. It was, like a bunch of really well-meaning people working really hard to get the peer support program off the ground and just coming up against like blockade after blockade, red tape, right? But other than that, there's nothing. And if you said that you were stressed out, if you said that you were not coping well, you got to suck it up and you're just not tough enough to work here and, fucking be better. And so when I started Blue Line, my goal was fitness testing, obviously, to start, because that's my background and what I love. But I said, I want to start offering things for first responders, for wellness, for mental health, because I hit the same with you. I hit that point where, I was at like, peace, see you guys later. I can't do this anymore. And so to me, being very similar to you, loud, outspoken, speak my fucking opinions, like one of those people that is big and energetic. And for me to hit that point in my life, I thought if I'm hitting this point, there's way more other fucking people out in the world that are hitting this point before I am. And like, holy shit.
Yeah.
And I thought about it back then and started kind of seeing little things here, there, and everywhere, but everybody is doing kind of their own thing, right? And we're all trying to do the same thing. We're all trying to get mental health resources and wellness and education out for our first responders, but we're all kind of doing it like this place and this place and this place and this place. And I said back then, like, God, it would be so great if this was just all on one website. It's not competition. We're all just sharing on one space. Yes, you can go to this retreat by this company, or you can do this retreat from this company, or you can do this webinar with this company, or it doesn't fucking matter as long as it's all in one place. Because when you're in the deep, dark fucking hole, you can't be fucking looking through Instagram to find like, where was that fucking thing? Or what was the name of that therapist or what, right? Like, you need something at your fingertips to be able to go, yes, I live here and this is fucking close and I need that. Thank you. And you can go and you can take it. So I think that is incredible. I personally myself, I want to say I'm really fucking glad that you didn't leave. I'm really glad that you're still here. I'm really glad that somebody came and stopped you before you were able to finish what you wanted to do.
And add to it too is, hang on, hold your thought. This past Sunday, I attempted again.
No.
Yeah. So yes. And it was, I don't know what it was, but I don't know what it was, but it was just, my mom was at church and I needed to leave my apartment. And I also found out too, and I'm really hurt too, but we lost a paramedic in this country. He took his own life around the same time that I was going to take mine this past Sunday. And so like, I found that out today from somebody, one of my followers told me that her partner, who wanted to see her finish advanced EMT school, committed suicide this past Sunday around the same time that I was going to. And I don't know if it's just grand design or whatever, but there's been I've been struggling mentally a lot lately since February, just because everything, having a big personality on social media, it comes with a lot of bad. And you have to ask you about it. And it's like, I have a thick skin, don't get me wrong. However, my thick skin can only go so far until that elasticity does not stretch anymore. And it started to really get to me. And I'm just like, I can't do this anymore. I just can't. And I said pretty much goodbye to my team, to everyone. And my team called the cops and did a welfare check and whatnot. So like, yes, I am better today than I was Sunday. But I'm still not 100% there. I'm taking this week and next week off from doing my TikTok lives. I have my team there still doing them, which is great. Because I need to get back to me again. Sometimes we want to continue to go and help everybody, but we forget that we have to help ourselves. And we forget that we have to create boundaries,
Mhm.
because as much as we are such good at wanting to help everyone, we don't create those effective boundaries, because when people do unload on us, we take that energy and their pain and suffering, and we don't create the boundaries of saying, hey, you can call me anytime. And I've had that happen in the last couple of weeks with people who were struggling mentally, and when I should have been focusing on this versus what that was.
Mhm.
And so like that was also pain and whatnot. And so like it got to me. So full disclosure, yes. I kind of want to say relapsed basically this past Sunday for me. So yeah.
Well,
And
I just want to say thank you for being brutally honest and authentic, because I think that that's the other thing that we do with big personalities is we downplay and we laugh it off, and we, okay, like, so, and then that happened, but that just happened. So like, let's move on. Let's gloss over that little blip. Right. And I totally get you on the fucking haters, man. I actually literally this morning, it's just so not funny that you would say this, but I am right now dealing with a bunch of shit too. I'm sure not nearly as bad as what you're getting. Cause I can't even, I started going through an Instagram post today, and it was about basically some company. I don't know who it was, but they were saying like, hey, stop shitting on female cops. Like, there's a lot of fucking loser men cops out there that are overweight. They can't do the right. And so I was like, holy fuck, like that's a refreshing perspective on Instagram, because that's normally not what you get. And then I started going through the comments, and then I started getting real fucking mad. And I was like, you know what? It's fucking 6 a.m. and I can't be this fucking angry this early in the day. I was like, nope, fucking closed Instagram. Like, fuck that. And then an hour later, I was doing something else, and I opened up, because like the issue is that when you're on socials like we are, and you have to constantly post, and you have to constantly, because your followers want to see content. They want to see what you're doing. They want to know what's the latest, what's the news. So you're constantly posting or putting something up, or like, okay, I got to remember, and there's fucking 8,000 platforms. So I got to remember, what did I post on LinkedIn? What did I post on TikTok? What did I post here? What did I put, right? Like, so I was checking, and this thing came up on Facebook. And again, it's like death of a child. And like, so I'm reading the story, and then I'm getting teary. And I'm like, it is 7 fucking a.m. Like, close the social media. Like, I can't. And so, and then my shit blew up, and I was like, oh my God. Okay. And I thought to myself, you know what? And I'm sure like, this is really funny, because anybody that's like actually famous is going to be like, yes, Nikki. But like, the bigger you get, the bigger your business gets, the more you put yourself out there on socials, and the bigger you get, and the more popular you get, and the more followers you get, the more the fucking snakes come out, and they 100%. Come hard. And it's like, you know what? Like, really, this is your life. Like, you fucking troll loser, that you're just going to come and fucking troll my shit. Like, why the fuck are you following this page? You don't like cops? Get the fuck off my page. Right.
Oh yeah.
But like, if you say that, oh, you're so mean, and you get put in Facebook jail because you fucking called a piece of shit out. Like, fuck that. Right.
Oh yeah.
And so now I'm like, nope. You want to be a cunt on my page? Guess what, motherfucker? Fuck around and find out. I will come for you. I will post your shitty fucking comments. I will fucking screenshot your shitty fucking face. I will share it out to the fucking world, because fuck you, you keyboard warrior loser that wants to fucking hide behind your computer and talk shit. But I guarantee you, when I click on your profile picture and I look at you, you wouldn't last a fucking day in our shoes. Not one. You don't even last a fucking hour. And so like that, I just like,
and the worst of the worst. And it's not just, and you know, that's only a fraction. Like those people piss me off too. But the ones that really piss me off are the ones in the far, far back who are first responders and that come at us because that we are doing what we're doing, and because we are voicing our opinions, and because we want to see change. And you know, the sad thing is, it's like, and it took me a good couple of months to actually understand this. And when it came down to it, at the end of the day, and so there are some people that looked at me like, dude, I could not say what you just said. Regardless, even those that are in the far, far back who are just viciously awful, and they have come after me like crazy on my page. However, at the end of the day, I am still going to advocate for them. Why? Because they are still first responders. They still answer that call to serve. Yeah, are they shitty people for doing what they're doing to other first responders? Absolutely. And maybe one day they'll change their mind, or maybe karma's going to come back or God, or whatever you believe. But at the same time, at the end of the day, if I turn my back on them because they really haven't seen the forest for the trees yet, what am I teaching them? What am I showing to other people? That if I turn my back on those type of people who are, assholes and whatnot, they're still first responders. They're in that boat because maybe for a couple of different reasons. One, they've been stuck in this rut. They're burnt out, or they themselves need mental health resources and they don't know how to advocate for it. So this is the only way for them to advocate, is to be a complete and utter jackass. And so like I had to take a big perspective and a big hard reset on some things, because I've had a lot of first responders in the far back come at me like hardcore. One, because I'm a female.
Oh yeah.
Two, I'm a bigger person, but dude, I was a wrestler for 14 years. I was nationally ranked wrestler, I was an internationally ranked wrestler. I'm also a power lifter. I'm like, dude, I can deadlift 525 pounds. What can you do?
Yeah.
Clearly nothing. Like, my goal is to pull a freaking engine. That's my goal the next year. Like, come on. And so, like, yes, I am not a skinny person, never will be. That's okay. Whatever. I'm okay with that.
Yep.
I also have my loud mouth. I don't give a flying bleep what people say, whatever. I have a thicker skin now compared to like even 5 years ago. But at the end of the day, I am still a first responder. Whether I'm a female or a male, we are all first responders. We all answer that call to serve our community. Why are we putting, oh, well, she's a female cop or a female firefighter? Just drop female in front of it.
Yeah.
Cop, firefighter, EMT, paramedic. Yeah. I'm like, why? Why we have to have that gender ideology things to things, and it bothers me to no end, because I think that's one of the reasons why I like firefighting, because there is no difference between females or males. Like, when I went to the police academy, there were difference for the physical fitness tests. There was difference between males and females for time.
Oh, okay. We don't have that up here.
This is great. But for us, for firefighters, for our CPAT, we got to do it in 10 minutes and 28 seconds.
Yep.
In our 50-pound gear.
Yep.
And that's males and females.
Yep.
So it's like good. And I think that's what needs to happen. And we need to get rid of those types of the differences between males and females of like physical fitness and whatnot. Because again, we all are doing the same thing.
Yeah.
And so like I've learned, let me rephrase this. I've learned a lot in the last 3 months, 2 to 3 months, not to take everything to heart and to still continue to advocate for those that are even making my life a complete and utter pain in my existence. I'm still going to advocate for them. And because at the end of the day, I want my conscience cleared, because I'm gonna let karma take care of them. Because karma, she's a thou heartless bitch, and let me tell you, she nasty at times. So yeah.
You know what? Again, I feel like you are very similar to me. We wear our heart on our sleeve. When we love hard. When we hate hard. And we have those opinions where we say like, this is what it is. You don't like it. Tough shit. It doesn't change the fact that it is what it is. Like, you're just uncomfortable that I fucking said it out loud. That's what you're uncomfortable of. Those ones that are hiding in the back, you fucking know all this. You're just uncomfortable that I actually brought it to light and was willing to speak it out loud and fucking put it on the table because you're worried because now other people are going to agree with me. And then, oh my God. And then you being the problem are going to be threatened. Well, yeah, motherfucker, you should feel threatened because you are the problem. And the things that you're doing are the problem. Like, so yeah, I mean, but I totally feel you when, we can put on a brave front and be like, fuck you, I'm going to screenshot this shit. And I'm going to put it all over the place. But does it still hurt my heart? Yeah, I'm still a fucking human being. And I'm an emotional human being. That was one of the things that was the hardest for me working in the jail was, again, dealing with the fucking backstabbing and the betrayals of staff, not about fucking inmates. Easy peasy lemon squeezy, baby. But the fucking staff, that stuff. And once you get actually really truly fucking stabbed like hard, there's no unseeing that. There's no unfeeling that. And
Mm-mm.
for me, that was the turning point where I was like, oh, yeah, no, I can't do this anymore. I'm out. Like, this is, I can't do, because like when you put your life on the line for people and you expect that it's a reciprocal, even like thing, and then you find out it's not, and you're a person like me where I am loyal to a fault and I'll have your back no matter what, but you are willing to stab me, like
Yeah.
what? And
Oh,
so
yeah.
I mean, it is. You have that thick skin, and you put that brave face on, and you like you said, in my 6 years of trying to heal myself, and I'm gonna have more grace for people, and I'm not gonna be such a fucking bitch to everybody, and I'm gonna try and
Yeah.
understand where they're coming from. But at the end of the day, it's still like, yeah, but what you're saying is really fucking mean, and it's really hurtful, and there's really no need for you to say it. Like, if you
Yeah.
don't like it, get the fuck off the page. Go fucking
Absolutely.
elsewhere. Like, you don't have to throw your garbage shit in here.
Mhm.
Fucking leave, right? And so,
Yep.
yeah, I mean, and like I said, I think what you're doing is incredible. I'm really glad that you're doing it. I know that you are, for all those pieces of shit that are fucking naysaying and coming on you and coming at you, like, just know that you have so many more. I bet you there's so many more that you are
Mhm.
helping, and that you are like teaching, and that you are educating, and that you are being a role model for, that you're being a mentor for me. Again, every so often somebody will come up to me and they're like, oh my God, like, you're Nikki? And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, oh my God, like, I watch this and I follow you on this and I listen to the podcast. I'm like, oh my God, you're so amazing. And I'm just like, I'm sorry, are you talking about me? Like, me? Like, what? And they're like, yeah. And like, and then when you have that, you kind of walk away and you go, oh shit, like, this fucking rando podcast that I throw out every week and I'm just talking to fucking people are like learning, and people are
Mhm.
liking it, and people are like
Yep.
being inspired by it, and like the shit that I'm doing, and the fights that I'm fighting, people are standing in the wings and they're going, holy fuck, like, look at this girl go. Like, I want to be
Yep.
like that fucking girl, right? Like, and we might not know it and we might not feel it, but it's happening, right? And so when we do, and I'm saying this again to myself because, like I said, I had a shitty morning too. I'm saying it to both of us. So when we're having those shitty mornings, and when we
Mhm.
feel like everybody's being a fucking douche canoe, we just have to say to ourselves, guess what? Somewhere out in the world, somebody thinks I'm really cruel, and somebody thinks that I am doing good things. And so therefore I will continue to do the good things for those
Mhm.
people, and all the rest of you fuckers can fuck the fuck right off.
Yes, I know. It's crazy that you say that, because I had no idea how far my reach actually got and how many people actually are listening to me until about 2 months ago. And when one of my followers, who is now part of my training cadre, said, "You have no idea. Like, we tell our students at the college about you and what you're doing, and that now your website is an approved resource for EMS." And and I have some top doctors in the country and looking at me and FRTG, and I'm just like, wait, what? Excuse me? Can you say that one more time again? Like, and even some big departments, like, there's a city in a different state that's right underneath me, a big city that I'm starting to get looked at too. And I'm like, hey, well, huh? And even in my own area, like, I really wasn't going to say too much about anything to anybody in like my state where I'm at, because I don't know, I'm just weird, just weird like that. But it's funny because, like, a couple months ago, I was having, or I'm not a big drinker, but I was out at the bar with some of my colleagues, and they were having drinks, and I was getting ready to go get another soda, and this kid comes up to me and he's like, "Hey, I know who you are." I'm like, "Oh, you do?" They're like, "Yeah, you're the Tattooed EMT, right?" I'm like, "Yes." He's like, "You're awesome. I follow you on TikTok." And he's like, "Can I get your autograph?" I'm like, "Wait, what? Huh?" I'm like, "What?" I'm sorry, I blacked out for 5 seconds. Can you repeat what you just said?
Yes.
It's the same thing. Even my EMT students this semester, I have 4 EMT students that have followed me on TikTok prior to starting EMT school. And one of them was like, yeah, I've been coming to your EMS scenario nights before EMT school. I really like you. You're great. You're awesome. And now the college that I work for is starting to take notice of what I do on social media. And I'm like, oh.
Yeah. Right.
Okay. Like, I try not to rock the boat too much. So
Yeah.
I try to keep a different persona, but unfortunately, just like the Sarah and the Tattooed EMT kind of mesh together at times, and they just, takes one over. And so now at this point, like, I'm kind of embracing that even departments in the area that I live in and I serve on, I'm just like, okay, well, it is what it is. And I'm going to embrace it. And yeah, are there going to be some people that don't like me and like what I'm doing? Yeah, because they're douche canoes. Whatever. It's okay. It is what it is. And like you said, there are someone out there that likes what I'm doing, so I'm going to keep doing it. And that's why I keep doing what I do.
I love it. I love it. Keep doing what you do because it's good and you are helping people. And I think that's phenomenal. And hopefully, again, now that people have listened to you on the podcast, they're going to go, they're going to follow you. They're going to start learning from you. They're going to listen to your podcast. They're going to learn on there and they're going to go to your website and they're going to learn even more on there. And all of that info, you guys, is all going to be in the show notes. I'm going to be tagging the shit out of this girl for all of our socials. So you guys are going to find her. You're going to go follow her. You're going to love her. You're going to send her the love. If you listen to this podcast, I want you to literally take 2 seconds, fucking find her, follow her, and send her a heart emoji. And then she will know that that's coming from people that found her on this podcast. Okay, guys? So do that for me. Do that for Sarah because you deserve it. And you're an incredible human being. So I'm very happy that you're here. Okay, so I'm going to wrap up. And I always like to wrap up with really fun rapid fire questions. And these ones are going to be so good for you. I'm very excited about these ones. So number one, always ask this one. Love this one. What is your favorite food or snack when you were on shift?
Food, like meal that I make, probably because I'm like the only female on my shift with a whole bunch of 12-year-olds. When I say 12-year-olds, I mean 20-year-olds because I'm 40. So like my crew ranges from 19 to 27, but because they love where I'm from Narlands, so they love when I make gumbo. So I make gumbo on shift, but some of the foods that I like my little snacks, I like the little chomps, like that beef jerky chomps.
Oh yeah.
I love those. It's Uncrustables. Like that's a staple in the EMS world is the Uncrustables. So unhealthy, but I don't care.
It's because they're pocket size. You can eat them with one hand. Yep, totally.
Yep. And stuff them in my EMS pants or my bunker pants. Yep. I love it.
Yes. Okay, so then the question I have for you, A, I want you to share your gumbo recipe with me because I've never made gumbo and I think I need to make it. And B, what is in a gumbo? What is it? What goes in there?
So it has we call it the Holy Trinity, which is, it has celery, green peppers, and onions. And then it has, we traditionally has like andouille sausage and shrimp. Some places in Ireland and Louisiana will put like chicken and crawfish in it, but it's like a poor man's porridge kind of thing. It's so good.
And it sounds fucking heavenly.
Just amazing. So good.
Oh, it sounds so good. Okay, now I'm really hungry. I'm really hungry, guys. Okay. And if she shares the gumbo recipe with us, guys, I will share it out. If you message me and you're like, I want the recipe, I'll fucking give it to you. Okay. Okay. Number two, because you get to do so many cool things and you get to use so many cool pieces of equipment. What would be your favorite piece of equipment that you get to use?
So in fire, definitely the Jaws of Life. Like that shit is awesome. I love ripping the car apart. I love when I have an MVA, I'm just like, yeah, let's get that good, Otherwise, if you like our chainsaw's pretty, I like that. But on the ambulance, I'm the IV person. I love my IVs. Like I have a 97% success rate on the IV. So like I am damn good at doing IVs. So I love IVs way more than any other type of thing that we have. But yeah, those are my equipments, my go-tos.
I love it. That's amazing. And it's so funny you said zero to hero because one of my like very good friends who's been on the pod 2 or 3 times, her name is Sheila Farrell. She is a paramedic as well. When she first came on the show, she was like, I think she was literally the first episode that we did. And she said it. And I said, I'm sorry, can you repeat that? She said, she's like, oh, that's what we call the kids that go school and then straight. So what we have here is they're called primary care paramedics and then advanced care paramedics. And so primary care is basically your EMT. Advanced care is your paramedic. And so she's like, yeah, they go from primary to advanced and they've never been on the bus and they have no clue what they're fucking doing. And then they get out and they're like a deer in the headlights. So 100%. I was like, So I just love that all the way from Wisconsin, it's the same. It's the same, guys.
It's the same. It's like I said, we're all on the same side worldwide.
I love it. I'm gonna message Sheila and be like, you need to listen to this episode. Okay. Number 3 question. Because you've been to so many places, and I'm going to take this outside of like work realm. I'm going to go like, you can go your whole entire life. What has been your favorite place to live?
Italy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really did love Italy. Italy was just a great time. And like I said, I haven't been back to Italy since post 9/11. I only did it pre 9/11, but it was awesome. Like, I didn't have to worry about a lot of things. I traveled, like I was 15 years old going on the Eurorail or going to Rome 4 hours away from Naples with some friends, and my parents didn't care. If I did that here as a 15-year-old, my mom would be like, oh no, you ain't going in there, kind of thing.
You shall not be doing that.
So like, I don't know. Italy was probably one of the best places that I've been to and I lived because it was a different time. It made me who I am growing up in a foreign country because I had a unique perspective as an outsider looking in. And then now I'm an insider looking out. So it gives me those 2 different perspectives on how I see the world, but from a different angle of things.
That is one thing I really say all the time. And I've got 3 daughters and I say, travel as much as you can, because we get very stuck in like, this is our world. And so if this is our world, and because Canada and America are so close, we share television shows, we share not that we're exactly the same, because people are going to lose their fucking mind up here when I say this. I'm like, okay, we're the same. But like, we have a very similar culture in that, like our mass media is the same, our fucking blah, 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 entertainment is all the same. Like everything travels across music, right? And so we think that our world here in Canada and America is what the rest of the world looks like. Hey, guys, FYI, it's not. Go travel and see the rest of the world and you will learn very quickly. And again, don't just travel to like all inclusives in Mexico and Dominican and Cuba. Like go somewhere else. Go somewhere off the beaten track. Go
further away from an hour. Oh my gosh, I can't emphasize like where I live. So where I live, I'm smack dab between 2 major cities. So Milwaukee and Chicago. And people are like, well, I'm going to go to Milwaukee. I've never been to Milwaukee. And I'm like, it's only an hour away. And you're from here. I've been here and I go like, what is wrong with you people? I just look at them like, and so like, it drives me crazy when people have only been like, I say the 6x6 cell, but this small little city of the 6x6 cell. And that's all I know. And they're like, oh, I can't wait to go to Chicago, which is an hour and 20 minutes away. And I'm like, but you can, okay, whatever.
Yeah, I know you're like, okay. I will say Chicago. I've been to Chicago. Chicago's pretty fucking awesome, guys. So if you're from Canada, by all means, pop on down there. Pop on down there and check out.
I love Chicago. Love Chicago. Yes.
Yeah. But yes, I will say travel. Go somewhere else. And if you can, and again, I know I'm fucking talking first world fucking privilege here, but if you can go and spend more than 7 days, like if you can go and actually live or, do a month and kind of immerse yourself as much as you can in what you can see and do, even better, because you can go and do the touristy things and you can go and do the week travel and I went to here and I went to here, but like you're not getting a taste of what the country's like, and you're not really getting a taste of how people are and the culture and the why people do things the way they do them, and what the traditions and things that are in the background as to why people are the way they are. And I think that that's also a great way to become just a better human being, when you understand where people are coming from and you understand their backgrounds and their take on things, and we don't just keep trying to impose our version of what we think is right because of where we grew up and what we saw and what we were exposed to.
Yeah.
Like, again, that would just make the world a better place too. So yeah,
Exactly.
absolutely love that. Well, girl, this has been incredible. Like incredible. So much great information. Again, you guys check the show notes. There's going to be so much more info in there. Go check out Sarah's website, listen to her on the thin line, tune into us. She's in the morning. I'm on in the afternoon on Wednesdays. So guys, guess what? Just turn the fucking radio on Wednesdays and just listen for the whole goddamn day. And you're going to hear both of us and your day will be made great. Any last words for our listeners?
No, not really. I just, the big thing is we're all in this together. If you're a first responder out there listening and you're in Canada, we're all in this together. It doesn't matter if you're Canadian or American or English or Australian. It's the same across the world. We all have the same type of trauma. We all sacrifice. We all answer that call to serve. So we're all in the same boat and we all need to work together. That's my little 2 cents.
Love it. That is the best way to finish the show. Thank you, girl. I hope you have an awesome rest of your day.
Thanks, you too.
Well, that's it for today, folks. Thanks so much for tuning in, listening, giving me your time, your energy, and your attention. I completely appreciate it. Make sure you check out our next episode with another badass female first responder anywhere you get your favorite podcasts. And follow us on Instagram and Facebook at bluelinefitnesstesting.com. I hope you stay safe, keep your head on a swivel, and watch your six.